Yo, what's going on, you beautiful steppers out there? Today we're about to discuss how to flip paper, aka how to wholesale real estate for beginners. This is the perfect step-by-step guide for you. I've been wholesaling real estate for the past 4 years, and for the past 3 years full-time, right? 3.5 years now, full-time wholesale real estate, right? So I've learned a lot, and also in addition to what I've learned, I've shared over the past 2 years throughout this channel of Steps to Success about how to wholesale real estate. You'll find over 50 hours of content. So everything I discuss here today with you is pretty much its own separate video. So you could either click that link up there, it'll be plenty of links and cards popping across. And also you can click the link in the description. I do recommend you staying to the whole video, not only for the wholesale real estate content, but also to discover where we are at today. I'll show you guys where we're at today, but today we are in South Inlet Park out here in Boca Raton, Florida, and it's very beautiful. I like the inlets because, you know, you just saw the boats go by. I think the contrast is really astonishing. So this being said, guys, let's get right into wholesaling real estate. Now, I am going to have my phone here just to, you know, keep me on track because we're going to discover a lot today. Now, the first thing, let's discuss what is wholesaling real estate, right? What is wholesaling real estate? Now, wholesaling real estate, if you don't know, and the goal of this video is for you to not only know about wholesaling real estate, but for you to actually be able to decide if you want to pursue wholesale real estate, right? So I want you to be able to feel, after you watch this video, be able to feel like you can either, you know, do wholesale real estate or you don't want to do it, whatever it is for you, right? Now, this being said, guys, what is wholesale real estate? Wholesaling real estate is a real estate investing technique, right? So this being said, is in the most simplest terms, is for you to be able to get the property from A, which is the actual seller, right? So you get the property from A, the actual seller. You, B, get the property under contract from A, the actual seller. This contract you then sell to C. C is the end buyer, and you sell it to the end buyer for an assignment fee. So let's say, for example, you get the property under contract at $5,000, right? So you get the property under contract at $5,000, and then you go and you sell the property to your end buyer at $10,000. Then you just earned $5,000, right? So in its simplest terms, that is what wholesale real estate is. Now, you may be thinking, is this legal, right? How old do I have to be? You may be thinking a few things like that. Is it legal? How old do I have to be? Well, let's first discuss, is it legal? Yes, wholesale real estate is legal. I'm not sure if you've heard of wholesale real estate before, but just because you have not heard of it does not mean that it is not legal, right? I would not have been discussing it for the past 2 years openly if it was illegal. So yes, it is legal. And there are certain things that you have to practice, but it is kind of a wild, wild west kind of thing because there's not too many regulations that are involved in the business, but it is a business. That being said, how old do you have to be involved in this business? Well, the good thing is you can start wholesale real estate at 13 years old, right? You can start it at 10 years old. You can start it at 8 years old. It really just depends on you. So this being said, what I mean is you're only getting the property under contract with the seller. So if at 10 years old you're able to have a seller trust that you're able to buy a property, then you know you're very talented. But that being said, you will need a parent's signature. So you cannot sign a legally binding contract at 10 years old, below 18. So at 18 years old, you're able to sign the contract for yourself. Under 18, you will need a parent's signature. So let's say you are 13 years old and you have discovered wholesale real estate, you're 14, 15, however old. You know about it, you did the technique, and now you have the property under contract. Only thing you need to do is have your parents sign that contract, and you still can sell it to somebody else, being the end buyer. You can even discuss with the title company or even have your parents collect the money. Again, you're going to see a whole bunch of cards popping up there because we've discussed a lot of this stuff, and the cards and the videos in the description, we go way more in detail, all right? So that being said, guys, another thing is, do you need a license? Do you need a license with wholesale real estate? No, you do not need a license. Again, there's not too many rules and regulations because you don't need a license, but it is legal. All right, guys, this being said, you may be thinking, what qualifies a good wholesale deal? Now, on the grand scheme of things, the only thing, really the biggest thing that really qualifies a good wholesale deal is equity. If the property has equity, then it's a good wholesale deal because the seller is able to sell the property and make money, and you're able to sell the property and make money. So, you know, you may be thinking, what is equity? So in the simplest terms, equity is how much the property is actually worth, right? So the position you bought it at. So let's say you bought the property at $30,000. The property's actually worth $100,000, right? In its current condition. So in its current condition, the property is actually worth $100,000, though the person that bought it, you know, they got it at $30,000 and they may be willing to sell it at $50,000. Instead of taking all of the equity, they'll sell it at $50,000, right? So then maybe you, as the real estate investor that's involved in a transaction, you're able to go and assign it to your end buyer, the C, for $55,000. Now they still have equity to work with, or you know, maybe you'll do a little bit more because there's the after repair value, which is different than equity. But now you know what equity is, and that's what qualifies a good wholesale deal. So why would someone sell their house below market value, right? So why would someone sell their house below market value? There are so many reasons why, guys. So not only just to, you know, get the property for, if they just don't want it anymore, maybe it's a troubled property for them. Maybe it's something that they're behind on taxes, right? Or maybe they are delinquent with their mortgage payments, right? Or maybe they just need some extra cash, right? Or maybe they're tired of having the property, maintenance of the property. There's so many reasons, right? So maybe someone has just been divorced and their spouse, they're splitting up and they're done with the property that they were living in. Maybe someone has just died and there's a probate property being inherited. So I just gave you plenty of examples of why someone would sell the property under market value. But what do all of those examples have in common? The one thing that they all have in common is you have to be able to sell the property without being able to be in a position of selling the property depending on your situation, right? So it's a situation of why you're selling the property. That's the biggest thing that they all have in common. It's the situation factor. Those were all situations. Now there may be situations or someone may be in foreclosure, but even foreclosure is a situation. So all of that being said, guys, you now know why someone is selling a property. Now, how to actually find good wholesale deals. Yes, how to actually find good wholesale deals. Now, how do you find good wholesale deals? When it comes to finding good wholesale deals, there are several different ways to find good wholesale deals. The best way to find a good wholesale deal, just to give you a few, right? The best way is to market to motivated sellers. So that's the main way, motivated sellers. So the question here really becomes how to market to motivated sellers. How do we actually market to motivated sellers? So in order to find motivated sellers, we want to find people that are in the situations that we just named. So some of those situations are divorcees, foreclosures, delinquent taxes. All of these different things are situations that you want to be able to market to these people. Now you may be thinking, how do you find these people? So the first way you're able to find people that are motivated is by checking out your county auditor, right? This is the #1 way that I really recommend, because all of the other ways that I'm going to discuss with you are other ways that a lot of people can do, right? So there's two actually. So being able to go to your county auditor, you'll be able to find, you know, the delinquent tax sales in your county. You'll be able to find the delinquent property or delinquent mortgage sales in your county. You'll be able to find all of these things in your county. You'll also be able to find who's buying property for cash, but we'll get to that later. So the next way to be able to find motivated people are looking at properties that are vacant, right? Vacant properties. So when you're driving around, you see a little dusted up house in the corner over there, you'll be able to find, you know, that's the opportunity, right? So if you were driving before, you didn't know about wholesale real estate, you're thinking like, man, how do I invest in property with no money down? Because if I didn't get into that, because that's the basic premise of wholesale real estate, you're not putting your own money down. That's why maybe, you know, you may be heard it's not legal, because you're not putting your money down in the whole transaction. So this being said, guys, being able to look at that property up that you're driving by is an opportunity for you to be able to contact that owner, skip trace them, contact them, and when you're skip tracing them, you're finding their number to be able to call, right? So to be able to call them to ask them if they want to sell their property. So driving by people, you know, being able to talk to people, getting your name out there. But those are like the guerrilla marketing tactics. The other ways that you can do is things like PropStream. PropStream is a service that has plenty of motivated sellers, ideally motivated sellers, right? Because Another motivated seller tactic is finding somebody that has a lot of equity, right? Because they may be able to just sell the property because they're done dealing with it, but they're not losing any money as well. Hey, now you see we had to switch up locations real quick, but other ways that you actually market to motivated sellers is by either, cold calling them, or you can direct mail them, or you can go ahead and do a online marketing campaign with your website, or you can do a social media marketing campaign. So those are the basic ways, and the ways that I recommend are going to be discussed in the videos in the description or the videos up there, all right? So check this out, guys. When it comes to actually getting the seller to trust that you can buy the deal, how to get the seller to trust that you can and will buy the deal, you're basically asking what to say to the seller here, right? So this being said, this actually starts with your belief system. You want to believe that you can and will accomplish what you say you're going to accomplish, being buying the property and selling the property, right? So after you actually believe this, then you'll be able to project the energy when you actually say what you have to say. So the first thing you want to say to the seller that's going to actually set you apart from a lot of the people they're going to speak with is, I did not catch you at a bad time, did I? You want to ask the seller that as soon as you get on the phone with them, right? I did not catch you at a bad time, did I? You asking them this prompts them to say no, right? And that gives them their power back. So them having their power back and feeling, like they're consenting to the phone call versus you're just bombarding them on their day, it's going to set you apart when just the whole conversation, the whole dynamic will be different, right? It really starts there. Now, there are a whole bunch of other things that you'll say to the seller, but again, if you don't dive into nothing else, if you're interested actually in wholesale real estate right now, dive into what to say to the seller, right? So you'll check that out, links in the description. So next, guys, how do I sell the deal, not the property? And this is very important. When it comes to wholesaling real estate, you are selling the deal itself. You're selling the deal, not the property. And this is important because if you're marketing to people, right? So check this out. If you're marketing to people and you're saying, I'm selling this property when you don't own the property, then, there's a whole bunch of legal stuff that's going to be involved in that. We don't have to get into it. Just know that that part of it it's a gray area. It's a real gray area. And if you don't want to be involved in that gray area, so just market the deal. Say, I have this deal that you could be interested in, right? And this is an example of a text that you could send to some of your buyers. You send them a text like that. So that being said, either you're sending them a text, but before that, you have to include the pictures or videos in the text usually. So the pictures or videos you can get, and when it comes to, I recommend a video when it comes to marketing because you'll be able to see everything, right? So in order to film a good video, check out that link in the description as well. All of these links are in the description and popping up across the screen. That being said, you want to be able to either do this yourself or have somebody do it for you. But if you do have somebody do it for you, tell them to reference that video so you can send it to them. That way they really don't need to, figure out how to do it. You know exactly what they want to do. And you will be able to make your changes and figure out what you liked about the video or what you don't like about that video. But you do want to be able to take a video is what I recommend strongly. So after you've marketed the deal itself, how do you actually sell the deal itself? You want to find legit cash buyers, right? You want to find people that are legit about the buying stuff, right? So if they're legit guys, they're actually purchasing. They're not a wholesaler. They're not somebody else that's, about to either try to go behind your back with the deal or whatever it may be, right? You want somebody legit. So how do you find legit people? The first thing, you have to qualify what it means to be legit. They probably purchased property like this year, right? So how do you find stuff like that? You can either go on PropStream or your county. I recommend your county because it's more up to date than PropStream. So PropStream is getting all the leads and all the information from your county. So that being said, guys, go to your county and figure out, look up the person LLC or look up their name. Looking up their name or LLC, it'll put you in a position where you are now being able to figure out when they bought the property and also how much they're purchasing the property for. So if they're purchasing the property for less than market value, then they could be also working with other wholesalers, or they're just purchasing for cash. And you're looking for people who are purchasing with cash, not with a loan from the bank, ideally, unless it's a bank that they have a good relationship with, which means that it's basically like a cash. But guys, basically focus on the cash first, right? Especially when you're just getting started, because you'll be able to close the property quickly. And that's what you're offering your seller, is to be able to close the property quickly, right? So being able to find these legit cash buyers is very important. Also make sure that they are purchasing, if they are in the LLC, see if they actually own the LLC by hitting up your Secretary of Business search, right? Your state search. So maybe they are, a member of the LLC, or are they actually owning the LLC? Maybe they're related to the person who owns the LLC, so they're just acting like they're purchasing the property in order to wholesale the property. There's so many different things you can watch out for, guys. You gotta watch for the snakes in this business. That is something you wanna do, and you can basically do yourself. You can really get rid of all of that just by vetting the buyer and being able to make sure that they are legit. Once you make sure that they are legit, you're good, because you'll be able to steer clear who is not legit, or you'll be able to deal with them accordingly if they are not legit and they're presenting themselves in a different way. This being said, guys, it's not even a bad thing to actually work with other wholesalers either. If that's how I closed my first deal, using a fake buyer, and you'll be able to check that out as well. So guys, what do I say to the cash buyer for them to actually buy the deal, right? What do you actually say to the cash buyer? And this is very important. So in addition to the text and stuff you saw earlier, you want to speak to the cash buyer as if you are, depending on how you present yourself. So you can present yourself as, hey, I'm a part of this company, whatever your company is. So I'm a part, hey, this is D'Angelo with Jungle Properties. We are in a position where we're, we have a deal you could be interested in the area. Would you like more information? And the reason why you start why would you like more information and not with the property address and not with all the information first is because if they are not interested in the area itself, then it does not matter if they are actually, the property address. All that's going to do is leave you thinking like, dang, are they looking up the seller? Are they trying to sell the deal themselves or whatever? So don't even think like that. Avoid yourself all that type of thinking wave just by giving them as little information as possible when you first meet them. So when you first meet them, I see you purchased a similar property in the area. We have a deal that could, that fits your criteria. Are you interested in getting more details? Then they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, okay, great. This is the property address. We're asking this much, and you have your whole layout, right? And that's really it. Okay, so now that you got your buyer all excited about the deal, you've told them about the deal, they are interested in the deal. Now they want to see the property, right? So now you may be wondering, should you let the cash buyer see the property by themselves? Or should you walk through it with them? Or should you have somebody walk through it with them? Now it depends, right? So it really depends, guys. Now if you're a beginner, you may want to walk the property by with the cash buyer just to get experience or whatever. But if you ain't worried about the experience factor, which I mean, it really don't matter that much walking through the properties, even though I did have my time doing that myself. But this being said, it depends, and I do recommend for you to actually walk with the buyer if the seller is involved, unless you actually trust the buyer. If you trust the buyer and if you've done business with them, or if you see they've purchased a ton of properties, they may not want to mess the reputation up. If you trust, if you have a good feeling, whatever it may be, if you have a good feeling with that buyer, then let them go ahead and walk the property with the seller. But I would say if you feel in any type of way that's not good about that buyer, then walk the property with them or have somebody else walk the property just to play interference, okay? Just to play interference and be like, hey, ain't no other talking going on. Everything's going through you, right? So that being said, guys, when it comes to if the property is not with the buyer there, the buyer is not present, right? So if the buyer is not present and say the tenant is present, or if you have access to the property because there's no locks on it, you can just walk through the back, whatever it may be. If the tenants are present, if the buyer's not present, then have the buyer go by themselves. The seller's not present, excuse me. If the seller is not present. If your seller is present, you do not want your seller and buyer commingling with each other, ideally, if you don't trust that buyer. If you are in a situation where you are being able to have the tenants there, right? Let the buyer go with the tenants. That way it really doesn't matter what they ask too much, because it's going to be their tenants if they purchase the property, right? Unless the tenant is going on a tangent about some crazy stuff. That being said, guys, now that your buyer is there, they're going to decide if they, what do you actually, should you, you're going to decide if the buyer, so what if the buyer actually does not want to buy the property, right? That's what you may be thinking. What if the buyer does not want to buy the property? Now your buyers walk through the property, they've seen the property. What if they don't want to buy it? Well, this is why you have an inspection period. So your inspection period, and they are not the only buyer out there. Those two things right there gives you faith. So to be able to steer clear of any legal stuff, as long as you cancel the property within the inspection period, you're good to go, okay? But if they are out of the inspection period, you know, there's other things that you can do as far as earnest money and all that. But this being said, for the most part, you're good to go if you cancel the property within the inspection period. So with your buyer though, they're not the only buyer out there, right? So there's other buyers out there, so you can actually continue to market the deal if this one buyer does not want to buy it. Or you can even play mind games with that buyer and have a phantom buyer, right? Have somebody that was interested in the deal and you're trying to give them a good, you know, you're trying to give them a good deal. So this being said, however you want to play it, just have peace of mind knowing that you can always cancel the deal in the inspection period for whatever reason. You really don't have to name a reason, but the reason that I do go with is due to a non-agreement of price. That's pretty much the basis of all of the cancellations of contracts, okay? So after all of that is said is done, what if the buyer actually wants to buy the property, right? So the buyer's walked it, he loves the property, you're in good shape. This being said, what do? The next step is paperwork, guys, paperwork. So you basically send the paperwork off, and again, you've seen all these links flying across the screen, guys. It's been a journey, and you are now, you know, welcome to the journey. So this being said, if you're interested in wholesale real estate right now, you should have a great idea. And something you should know is that when it comes to writing contracts, you can write whatever contract, you know, you can edit your contracts whatever way because it's your business, it's your company. So whatever aligns with your ethics, whatever aligns and help you sleep at night, you can have whatever you want in your contract, okay? So just know your contract. So that being said, guys, when you're actually sending it off to your seller, just a little tip for you, refer to it as a purchase agreement rather than a contract. And I go into that as well. But you're going to send off the assignment, or you can do a double close, right? So you'll send off a purchase agreement. Really depends on you, right? Excuse me. It really depends on you. And what I do recommend is that if you do want to do an assignment of contract, it has to be under maybe $8,000, right? Because your seller may see it unless you have a great title company. And we'll get into a good title company next. But if you have a higher, right, then your buyer could be tripping. So if, let's say you got a $20,000 assignment, right? You got a $20,000 assignment fee. That comes if your buyer's not tripping. But if your buyer sees you are making $20,000, they may be feeling away, okay? And you want to avoid that. So you would do what's called a double close. And you double close by being able to basically write two different purchase agreements. So you write a purchase agreement with you purchasing the property from that A to B purchase agreement. Then you have a separate purchase agreement from the B to C. So B to C closes, right? And you do all of this in the same day, right? So first you close B to C first. You got to close the B to C first, and then you close the A to B so they can actually get their money afterwards. And then after that, you get paid. So it really depends, but it's whatever works best for you. And there are pros and cons to each of double closing and assigning. So it depends. That being said, guys, how do I choose a good title company? A good title company should be communicative, and they should be working in your favor, working in your interest. This being said, don't be so caught up. If your buyer wants to choose their title company, then let them have it, as long as they align, you know, and being able to get the deal closed, and they're able to, you know, they tell you that wholesaling is legal. This being said, you want to avoid title companies that tell you wholesaling is not legal, because wholesaling is legal. And you want investor-friendly title companies, and you can find these by asking other investors in your network, okay? You can ask other investors, other wholesalers, other people like that. They'll be able to actually, you know, recommend you to different title companies. And when they refer you to the title companies, you have to figure out what makes it a good title company. The biggest thing, like I said, they're communicating with you. You're being able to call them and they answer the phone and they get back with you. All of these things are important, and also you would like them to ideally have what's called a blind HUD statement. This blind HUD statement allows for only the buyer, and it's called a blind HUD, separate HUD, split HUD, whatever you want to call it. Split HUD, okay? Let's go to split HUD. Split HUD statement means that the seller sees their side of it, right? And the buyer sees their side. So if the buyer's paying you, they see that payment. The seller is not seeing anything, which means that the seller's not going to be like, hey, why am I not getting this $8,000? Why am I not getting this $15,000? The buyer would be able to see it if you're doing an assignment. But if you're doing a complete separate double close, they're two separate closings, right? But that also comes with more fees and also maybe some drawback, pushback from your seller as they see as years pass or as months pass, as weeks pass, once they see that, hey, we've closed the property without making such amount of money, right? I could have made more. All right, Stepper, so now that you've chosen your title company, you have the person, they've worked with you, they've been communicating through the process. Now the title work is back, which usually comes back, depends on the title company, about either within 1 day or 3 days. Depends on the title company, could take longer or shorter. This being said though, when it comes for you to be able to receive your money, how do you get paid is what you are wondering right now. How do I get paid, right? So when it comes to getting paid, you have 2 methods of payment, right? You don't get paid cash, even though you have a cash buyer, and they're not, just handing you $10,000 cash. This being said, you can either receive it as a wire, so you can have a wire, hit right directly to your account by sharing your routing information with the title company, or you'll be able to receive a check, and they can either mail you this check or you can pick it up from your title company. Whatever way works best for you, okay? So now the day has come. You got paid. So you got paid, what's next? Well, when it comes to getting paid, guys, and with real estate investing, particularly with wholesaling real estate, you have to do the same cycle again and again and again. So this being said, what's next is for you to enjoy that moment. Enjoy the moment, right? Make it different for that moment. But get right back on the horse, guys, and do it again, because what you will find when you're real estate investing, and especially when you're doing it full time, you will find that, if you are not somebody that's complacent, you're going to have more aspirations that occur when you receive money, right? That's just natural. But if you have a plan in place as you receive money, you'll just, allocate, your resources to the plan coming to life. This being said, guys, just keep going on your journey, keep going until you outwork the situation that you're in, until you work yourself out of your business to where it's just the operation and you're actually running a business instead of being involved in a business. So just keep going. That's the simplest thing I can say to you guys. Keep going is what is next when it comes to wholesaling real estate and real estate investing. Now, this has been very enlightening, guys. This has been fun. I mean, I've shared a lot with you guys. At this present moment, you should understand what a wholesale deal is and if you want to do wholesaling or not. That's really the basic premise of this deal. What it is and do you want to do it? If you want to do it, then you're going to want to learn more about it, and there's a ton of links in the description for you to check out, okay? So I appreciate you staying for the whole time. As I said earlier, let's get into the tour of where we're at today. And this is really my favorite part of the video, but let's get into it. All right, one thing too, guys, I'm about to have more, I got more things to talk about as stuff just be coming to me. So you guys checking out right here, you'll be able to learn some more stuff as it just comes to me. I think it's dope that I'm just continuing this is a road right here. That's what y'all hearing. There's a golf court that just rode by. It's a big tree right there. Stuff be looking cool. All right, let's see. I guess something else that I didn't mention as it pertains to wholesaling. There's a lot of things that I didn't want to give everything away because I'm still gonna be, you stayed this long, you're a real stepper, so I'll just talk to you. I'm still gonna be releasing some, stuff about wholesaling, but things are switching up big time. So I want to leave some stuff there for wholesaling, but I mean, at this point, guys, the bottom line is get the stepping, just get the stepping. If you get the stepping, then everything else you'll learn in motion. And that's something, you'll learn everything else in motion. As you get to stepping, you will learn it, all right? So there's some stuff that I didn't bring up, right? There's a lot of stuff I didn't bring up that I know I didn't bring up, right? That I consciously am aware of. And also there's things that I'm not consciously aware of that may come to me in this video that I'll bring up. So that being said though, the biggest way for you to learn is really just to get the going. I got the going by just getting the going, guys. Just got the going. All right. This is beautiful. It's the road. It's like the actual park area with the grass. I think that's cool. Look at that dog right there. He's so excited. All right. Got all this right here. Looking cool. That dog is something right there. This is pretty beautiful. Hey, hello. Hey. So guys, we looking good out here. Tell you what, it's a high seaweed day. Once we get to the beach, y'all gonna see all the seaweed. I've decided, guys, when wholesaling real estate, like when you decide that you want to do it, like you just gonna do it. I'm gonna take y'all out to the parking lot and we're gonna walk back in from the main entrance. But when you decide when you want to do it, guys, you just do it. And when you just do it, really, you learn so much. Don't spend time watching all these videos. That's why like some stuff I didn't even bring up. But there is some stuff that like might come to me still, but I really want to focus on the area. So primarily we'll be focused on the area as we walk back out of these woods, and we're going to walk through this parking lot and enter. But honestly, like I said, once you just do it, you'll feel better about yourself. What? Y'all just saw the mouth open? I ain't never seen that. The mouth opened on that thing. I ain't never seen the mouth open. Do it again. It's the little thing right there. Oh, there it is. It just happened again. Oh my God, it happened again. What? What? That was crazy. And that's why I like nature, y'all. I'll be really out here like just going in the woods and looking at different stuff. I like it just because it's nature, you know? We can take a little long loop around. We kicking it. You know, with the steppers. See the spider web? Look at that spider. See it? Right there. Big. That's a big spider. I used to think all spiders that were colorful were venomous. Now, and like deadly venomous, but just because they have venom, it does not mean they are deadly. I figured that out. Something cool to know, guys. Something cool to know. All right. Got another big spider thing right there. Beautiful steppers. We out here having a good time. Okay. What's next? Let's walk back up in here. Check out the scene. People out here. A lot of people are fishing. That's one thing I did notice. See, fishing things. A lot of fishing that's over there. And these are the hourly rates and all that. So, all right. Have you seen? Where? Oh, damn, yeah. That's a little baby dragon right there. Oh, that thing is huge, though. The tail is long. Y'all steppers, see that? Big iguana right there. Big iguana. Hey. You have a good day, man. Alright, steppers. I be having little dragons. Like when I say dragon, I'm thinking about like the dragons that blow fire. Not like whatchamacallit. They be looking like dragons that blow fire. I feel like those iguanas be blowing fire. These spiders be wild. Little kids playground back there. That's part of the reason why I like going to nature too, guys. You just really, you leave everything else. You leave everything else and you're here. You're in the moment, present. It brings you present in the moment. And that's the most important thing, because when you're present, you're allowing your abundance to flow to you. You're allowing things to happen because you're not giving so much thought energy to it. So you're softening resistance. You really can feel the resistance, right? And the way you feel resistance leaving you is that you simply feel good, right? Because resistance doesn't feel good upon any subject. So as you feel resistance leaving you, it feels like relief. Relieving, right? Sleep. Now this is pretty beautiful right here. I see they be having weddings or something like that, receptions or something like that. I don't know. This is beautiful. Walked on this beach, I was like, wow. Very beautiful. You know, we started over there. That's all I really can say, man. Beautiful. I've really seen so many different areas I've been to Florida before, but like being here and living in Florida is different, you know, because you're able to really take time to absorb different areas, especially if you like to explore nature, you know, because I like the city aspect of it too. And I've been to the different cities, but a lot of the cities, especially like where, I'm at, it's a lot of tourist stuff, so it kind of becomes a little bit repetitive. But let me not actually say that, because I ain't been in a city like that, you know? I've been out here in nature, so still got something to look forward to, actually exploring cities. So this is beautiful, guys.
Man. Let me think of another word. I just keep saying beautiful. Every time I be saying stuff like this, it's just beautiful. It's another word out there. I said astonishing earlier. It just came to me. Breathtaking too. This is the inlet. Inlet be pretty cool. Watching these people do their thing out there. See all the seaweed? People be like selling seaweed. Man, if you wanted to sell seaweed, just come down here. You get a few pounds of it. Look, they got all the different flavors. They got that regular. Got that hydro, everything you need. Miss Nicole, y'all see Miss Nicole boat? Boy, you see that S2 boat? That's a success boat. S2. Hey. Honestly, I like the contrast of these colors. You go from dark brown to red to like orange. And the way the waves are rolling in, they're looking beautiful. My guy out there putting that work in on the beach, I see you. Guy out there taking a walk. Shorty out there sunbathing, I see you. Do y'all thing. Alright, coming in with the speedboat, I see you. And then after that, we got people fishing. People fishing, living their life. Let's get out here a little bit more, steppers. Do your thing, Key West. Nice. Look at it just roll in, guys. How about that? Look at it. And you know what's funny? The only reason like it looks kind of dark, and it's not even dark, just the water's still clear, but it's the seaweed. That's how much seaweed is present. You saw they said heavy seaweed. So this water is really clear right here, but that's how much seaweed is in the water that's making it look unclear, I guess. That's something to say. You can see when it rolls up how clear it is. That's something I honestly been surprised about coming here. Another thing that I really enjoyed, just on a living aspect of things, is you see we got the ops out. But nah, another thing that I enjoyed on the living side of things is the weather. Now, me coming from Arizona, it's completely different. I'll be like, it feels good outside, but like people that live here in Florida, they be telling me like it feel hot. But the one thing I have observed, the further inland you get, like the further into the actual like inland versus, you know, living by the beach, being by the beach, like you get a nice breeze by the beach, right? Living on the beach. But the further inland you get, like going 20 minutes west, 10 minutes west, it becomes to become a little more hotter, you know, because you're not getting that sea breeze. It's a breeze right now. That's why I didn't film out here. What's up? I didn't film out here because of the breeze. You see my guy out there getting some official work done. That's a nice, I like that stand he got. I can appreciate that stand he has right there. The stand he has is keeping his cameras very sturdy. And he also has a kind of a big camera. Nice camera, my guy. All right. Yeah, guys, man, the journey. Well, if you've stayed this far, guys, just, you know, keep enjoying the journey is what I can say. Keep enjoying the journey, you know. All right, wait. Oh, I like the risk. I get a little risky. See the water? Hey. Honestly, like the sound of it is what be getting me. I love the sound. Ocean is something, man. It really is something. I enjoy the mountains as well. I do enjoy the mountains as well. Don't get it twisted. But the ocean and mountains is something too. But the ocean is something. Oh man. Like I said, guys, it's crazy. This was a wholesaling video, but this is really how life be. Like, you know, you have your business, but then you get into nature, man, and it just absorbs you. That's it. Feels very good. All right, steppers, this has been real. I done kept y'all long enough. Until next time,
as always, get to stepping, get to stepping, get to stepping. Hey.